Okay, looks like a train full of tourists have just got in, and here we are in Port Sunlight. This is basically a camera test and a microphone test, and it's a reasonable day for it. Oh, okay. Anyone who's wondering how to get to Port Sunlight, if you're coming from Liverpool, get off and get onto the Wirral line and head on the train that goes towards Ellesmere Port, and that will lead you to... Come on, car. Thank you. Here, Port Sunlight. The stop which is immediately after Bevington. Oh yeah, very picturesque. And it's basically a village which was created for the workers for Lord Leverhulme. And there's the very instructive board that tells you all the details. Pause the video there, have a look at that. It's all good. Okay. Well, first port of call, and one that so many people might actually miss on first glance, is the Dell. This nice little tree-lined little dip into the surroundings. Really quite pretty. I mean, nice old and Tudor style houses. And down here, nice secluded area. Now, typically I'd do this kind of thing earlier in the morning when it's quieter, but since this is a battery test and a camera test and a microphone test and everything, I'm just doing it after lunch at Secrets at number 7, which is a short distance away. Do a Google search. And yeah, isn't this just a nice little area? Nice place. I mean, hell, pack sandwiches, sit on a bench. Nice place to chill out. Okay. Sorry, that okay was just to test that the microphone's working. Ah, a nice little dip. I won't witter continuously. But yeah. Squirrels and birds. People in high-vis jackets. Ah, a little footbridge. In case you wanted to get from one of the roads above to another. So many squirrels. Very pleasant little area. Especially when the weather's as nice as it is today. I'll follow it all the way through to the end, and then loop back into the village. We might even head towards the Lady Lever Art Gallery. Also along this route is a Hillsborough Memorial. Oh yeah, it's so pretty. Somebody having fun in the distance. Yes. Oh, somebody out with a camera, because yeah, if you want some wildlife photography, if that's your thing as well, this is also a good spot for it. It's such a pretty area. And there's a conservation order in place that means people have to have doors painted in a set of approved colours only. Satellite dishes? No, we can't have anything nasty like that hanging around, ruining the aesthetic. And also, when it comes to the windows, you can have interior second double glazing. You can't do anything with the windows on the outside that affect the period look of it. The aesthetic is an important thing to be maintained. And that's fair enough. It's nice to have somewhere of interest which is not going to be bulldozed. Okay, now then, let's go back this way towards the bowling greens. Okay, and yes, occasionally I shut up so you can just pick up on the bird song. As I say, idyllic. No bowling on the go at the moment, but they're really nice buildings. Especially when the weather is as nice as today, it's ideal for getting out. A number of people with cameras, backpacks, navigating for touristy bits here, because it is quite touristy. And that's the thing you lose focus of sometimes living in the area. Because I don't live too far from here. And yeah, spoilt. The bridge in down there is good for family meals. Okay, this road is getting quite busy. Come on, there we go. And yes, and this is Hume Hall, by the way. Forgot to say that. Oh, it also has a cafe and a flea market on Sundays, which I've yet to go to. And of course, with an area like this, as you can see ahead, has to be a garden centre somewhere nearby, doesn't it? Plenty of opportunity for relaxing in a nice leisurely environment when the weather is like this. So nice. Okay. Oh, and there we go. Now this is the Hillsborough Memorial Garden. Okay. And of course I'll go to where the flowers are at the end. And this tells you the detail of it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Red and white flowers, as you might expect. Mm-hmm. There we go. Due to a war memorial in the distance there. And beyond that is the Lady Lever Art Gallery. Mm-hmm. Really is a rather pretty area. I mean, there's so many cars about now. That's just the world we live in. But I still have memories in my youth cycling along these roads. This was so quiet back in the, I would say, early 70s, early to mid 70s, when it was so quiet. My dad brought me here so I could learn to ride a bike without any traffic being an issue. And it really was big open areas, virtually no cars. And the fantastic trick that my father employed, my dad, used to teach me to ride a bike, he'd run along behind you holding the saddle until you realised he wasn't holding the saddle any longer. Enough of a grip to make sure, but yeah, on occasion, it'd be a case of, right, well, it's been done now. Okay, before I go down there, well, in the distance there, you can see that around the fountain is boarded off. Because that is a work in progress, apparently. It's being refurbished. Oh, yes. Okay, I sort of glossed over the fact, and I'll come back up in this direction, but a cross in the middle there, another war memorial. For the fallen of World War II. I think it's just World War II, not World War One as well. But the reason I'm mentioning World War II is in case we go for part 3 anytime soon, which is entirely possible. Oh, aren't I? Glass half empty today. Of course not. Look at this. It's a sunny day. It's wonderful. So nice. Hmm. And here, Christchurch. I do like the imagination they've got saying, oh, what's this church called? It's Christchurch. I see. How many of those are there across the country? But then again, it's the commonality of things like Church Road and High Street for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so very pretty. Mm-hmm. Picturesque. Sorry, let's use the correct word. Picturesque. Oh, lo and behold, Church Drive. Makes sense, you're near a church. Ah. And yes, we also have a Port Sunlight Museum and a Lady Lever Art Gallery. Now we'll get a closer look when we come to it. Of the pool, used to be a boating lake. There was a company that made toy boats called Star Yachts, based in Rock Ferry, which is where I lived back in the day. I remember having one of those and sailing it in the boating pond here at Port Sunlight. Yeah, a wooden yacht with 3 wooden masts tied together with string and cloth sails, and a little metal pen that went into the front mast, which pointed forward, and a metal keel. Yeah, I only discovered later in life that they were actually made in Rock Ferry, but I don't know where. Ah, look at that. Isn't that a cute looking school? Church Drive Primary. But yeah. So many nice buildings. And don't forget to look up. See the top of this one with the date details on it. It's kind of like when you go to Liverpool, even if you're walking along various roads, I'd say especially with Bold Street, for example, as you head to St Matthew's, which is an old bombed out church, you look up and the architecture is really pretty. Just making sure this car's going that way before I try and cross. We're good. Whew, toasty warm. Toasty warm. Aha. We're actually having a day which is making me regret wearing a even light coat. You know? Surprising. Still. Yeah. It's just a very quaint villagey bit. So let's head down here. Lower Road. So we've obviously come from upper, caught sunlight using that logic. There are very many pretty houses, though not the roomiest. I mean, Lord Leverhulme, when he was designing the village, or he had signed off on the design, was still basically after local accommodation for the people who worked for him, which is a really good idea. Also, I would imagine, especially by modern standards, not the roomiest of houses. Though, if you're lucky enough to have a house like this, for example, you'll see there's a second door off to the left there. So how much of it is one house, how much another? I think the right-hand end there is actually another house because the path leads to another front door. So yeah, there's quite a bit of... Some houses look more spacious than they actually are, I think. Oh. And I do quite like these little designs here. Little cottages in a slightly recessed row. Reminds me a little bit of the architecture I've seen in Portmeirion. So many people doing the touristy thing. Ooh. I think I may actually pause in a moment. Pause the video and start again. So I've got a guaranteed bit of video in case this phone does what it did on my initial example of filming one of the routes I used to take in Loch Ferry. And here we go. Now this, you may be able to see a sign in the distance there. The Bebington station. just beyond that lamppost. I don't think the resolution is up for it here. I'm just doing 1080p, like some sort of cheapskate. But hey, right. I'm going to pause, take my jacket off, and then resume. And so we resume. There's a microphone pinned to my t-shirt and hopefully not bobbing about too much to be distracting. And we're going to head to our left here again in the direction of the Lady Lever Art Gallery. Somebody put a bit of effort in with these little statues, by the way. It's just little details. But yeah, there's so many little things that just give the area a certain charm. Okay. Nicely maintained gardens. Everything is so good. You can just see the other side of the Lady Lever Gallery. Quite large. The entrance is free, at least of time of recording, which is the beginning of May 2026. There's a donation box as you head in, so I do recommend that. Every now and again, that's a good thing to do. Support your arts. And also downstairs in the museum there is a nice cafe. Alright for tea and cakes, as I recall, but not much more beyond that. I don't think it does lunches. Then again, I would take what I say with a hint of, I don't know. I'm never sure how accurate I am on some of these details. Okay. There you go. And I think this is meant to be a statue celebrating work and life and education. At least that's what I take from those figures. Oh, and here we go, Leverhulme Monument. Okay, let's go right way up. Well, okay. And there you go, to the honoured memory of William Hesketh, first Viscount Leverhulme, founder of Lever Brothers Limited, and of Port Sunlight. A man remarkable for his business ability, his public benefactions, and his love of beauty and art. This monument is erected by his fellow workers. How sweet. Yes. The aforementioned art gallery, or at least one of the faces of it. That's the entrance. And yeah, unfortunately, not quite as picturesque as I might wish it, but since this is predominantly a camera test, I'm not going to go in too much. And it may provide some insight and entertainment and whatnot for anyone who stumbles across it. You can tell by the number of parked cars, it's really quite popular as well. But yes, the fountain here all boarded up while it's being worked on. And if somebody reverses their mini out, there's the front of the museum. And we will switch momentarily to a path which runs right down the middle of a tree-lined Causeway? Footpath. Trees, flower beds, all very pretty. Yes. It's even pretty without the plywood boarding, but it's a separate issue. There's the view down from the far end, near the statue, the memorial we're about to head to. It's nice because you have these two paths that run parallel to each other. Oh, of course, and just over there is the Port Sunlight Museum as well. Yes, two parallel paths. And the view from the far end towards the Lever Art Gallery and the fountain is really quite nice. But let's face it, this whole area is quite picturesque. But yeah, you want somewhere that's pretty but low energy. A nice chilled out day to appreciate a little bit of nature. And if you pick that up, old people with really bad coughs. But yeah, have a sit on a bench here with your lunch, take a little bit of a walk. It's a nice spot. Oh, of course, and as I recall, now isn't this bit here? This is an amalmetic sundial. To tell the time, you need the sun. Stand on the month stone. The time will be where your shadow is cast across the hour pillars. In the circle for BST, outer for winter months. So, well, let's try that then. At the moment, we're in May. According to my watch, it's 25 to 1. So, May, my shadow. If you look at there, not quite fully blocking the 1, so it's on its way. A cunning thing. I've never even tried that before. But yes, this was apparently put up here for the Diamond Jubilee of the Village Trust, I think, on the 27th of April 2012. Is it just something I picked up on then? Somebody's walking past, finishing a conversation on their phone. It's a case of you're talking to someone on your phone, their microphones are quite sensitive. Odds are they can hear you without you shouting for the immediate vicinity. Or am I just being picky? I probably am. I'm very arguable sometimes. Yes. It's a shame I can't point back from where we've been going to give you the proper view down towards the Lady Lever Art Gallery. As a matter of fact, I'll show you. Now, just imagine it without a giant plywood facade in the way. You see how that might be pretty? Still reasonably pretty regardless of that. I think we'll conclude with a little look at this war memorial as well. I won't count all the names. But just get an idea of some of the things on view. There we go. As I recall, it's saying their name shall remain. Second World War. There we go. These are not dead, such spirits never die. First World War and Second World War. Slightly wrong, thinking it was just for the second. To our glorious dead. I will admit that is a term I take a little bit of issue with, because what's glorious about dying? I mean, defending a cause. But war itself is never glorious. Unless, of course, you're some sort of, well, no, I'll stop there. Let's just say war is always the last resort, but one that the weak will always take early. And that, I think, concludes our tour. I'll lead us back to where we came in, by the top road there. Greendale Road, which coincidentally is one of the best places to get speeding tickets. Speed limits introduced locally, 20 miles an hour on roads that used to be 30. And don't you just know it? There we go. Nice courteous driver there, giving me the opportunity to get across without sprinting. Ooh, and now, even though it's only 15, 16, 17 degrees maybe, I think it's feeling warmer. But maybe that speaks more to my lack of fitness. So, I don't think it's an entire day out as an area, unless you have other things to do, or you really do just want to spend a very leisurely day. It can be a very pleasing half day at least. Not a million miles away from the local transport, because as I say, the road we're heading to now, follow that all the way down to the right at the end, to the end of the right-hand turn we make here. That's what I meant to say. It's Bevington Station. As you come from Liverpool Station, that is the one that precedes the one that we started off at, which was Port Sunlight Station, which we will lead back to as we go left. And there's the train. The lady we just passed paused with her dog there because they saw that dog that was just there crossing over. To avoid any potential conflict, give each other plenty of space. Now this might be the next challenging bit. Crossing the road here because it does get quite busy. Oh yeah, here we go. Something coming from the left and from the right. There we go. Okay. Thankfully, that other car on the left gave me an opportunity to go. Notice that many to the right of me as we walk past it from Germany. So many people with walking or hiking gear. Just enjoying the fact that here is so picturesque. There we go. Tea rooms. Never sure of their opening hours. Open at the moment. Quite recommended. Last time I was there, they did nice bacon butty. Sausage butty. And that's it. And we're back where we started. Okay, and this guy's just stalled. Ah, here we go. Cab picking someone up. Nice. Oh. And that concludes our tour of Port Sunlight.